Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Cass. Thank you so much for listening. If you've been feeling a little out of routine lately, feeling like you need to reset, break old habits, build new ones, same. You're not alone. That's actually why I started the Winter Arc Challenge, which if you haven't heard, we're doing a little wellness club Winter Arc Challenge. It's 8 weeks. We start November 1st, and you should sign up for it if you're really trying to dive in and be serious about your habits and your goals. But even if you're not signing up, this is something that happens all the time. We talk a lot about resets and starting over and building habits. Honestly, this is something a lot of people struggle with. This is literally the top requested episode every single time. These are my top listened to episodes. And it's because we all fall into funks and valleys and seasons where we feel like we're kind of just surviving and not necessarily thriving. But I'm telling you, we can switch this around to be thriving and not just surviving. And especially during the winter time, I know it's very easy to get all cuddled up and cozied up and chill. But if you're really feeling like you want to elevate your life and elevate your routines and really become the version of yourself that you know you can become, this is what we need to do. So in this episode, I want to share some tips and some strategies to build a routine that actually makes you feel your best. We often say, I'm out of routine. I need a routine. I hear this all the time, and this has been a conversation that's been coming up a lot in my social circles. The truth of that is I totally understand that feeling, but the real truth of it is that you do have a routine right now that you repeat every day. It just might not be a routine that you're actually choosing. You're not intentional about the routine, even though the routine just happens, and you fall into these patterns and these habits that become your routine, but it's not necessarily a routine that makes you feel good. It's not a routine that you're choosing. And this episode is here to help you design the routine that is actually going to make you feel your best. You don't need to find a routine. You need to design one with intention. A routine that actually supports who you want to be and not who you're just accidentally becoming because you've fallen into these patterns and these habits. There's a writing exercise that I do pretty much every single year, not on any specific day. It's just when I feel like I need to ground myself again. And the exercise is writing down your dream life and your anti-dream life. And even if you're not a big journaler or a big writer, I encourage you to do this in your own way, even if it's like bullet points. You don't have to write paragraphs and essays, but just something to get pen to paper of thinking about who you want to be and why. A lot of times when we're falling out of routine or we're into habits that we don't necessarily want, it's because we don't have direction and we don't know exactly where we want to be and we don't know what we have to do to get there. And even if we have these dreams and ideas and these goals, we're not necessarily clear on the habits and the skills and the patterns it takes to get there. So for example, you could be super ambitious and you want to start your own business, or you want to get into a wellness routine, or whatever it is, right? But you don't know the exact habits of that person every single day. And that's what this helps you get clear on. First, you're going to write about your dream life. And this is the fun part of this exercise because this is where you get to dream and there are no limits to what you want. So any desire, any feeling, anything that you want in your life, you're going to write about it in this part. And you're going to write about your ideal day in your life. And you are going to get ultra specific on your ideal day. So what time do you wake up? How do you feel when you wake up? What's the first thing that you do? Who's around you? What habits do you have in the morning? What types of foods are you putting in your body? When are you drinking water? Do you move in the morning or do you move a little bit later? What kind of work do you do? Is it creative? Do you feel inspired? Who are you surrounded by? Do you have a family to come home to? Do you have a lot of friendships? Do you stay intellectually stimulated, right? All of these things go into this ideal day from morning to nighttime. You put in your nighttime routine, your post-work routine, how you feel doing all of these things. And the more specific that you get, the clearer it becomes on the things that you have to do to achieve this. So like if you're saying, I wake up feeling refreshed and energized and excited about my day, that means that you take the time at night to make sure that you set that up. Or maybe you say about how you feel really inspired at work and you feel like you can be creative and you feel like you can just chase the different interests that you have at work and you feel very intellectually stimulated. That means that you need to seek out work and jobs that make you feel those feelings. And sometimes it's our own doing of seeking out those opportunities. So this part, you get ultra specific and write down from morning to night exact habits, patterns, things that you'll do in your dream life, your ideal day in your life. This one's really fun because it also helps you figure out your priorities. Like when I did this, it made me realize how much I really like creative jobs and I like being able to move my own way and do things my own way and kind of change up day to day what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. That matters a lot to me. I also put a lot about like having a home that is cozy and comfortable and clean and tidy and a stocked fridge, right? And feeling energized in the morning and even having intellectual conversations with people. Like I'm well read and I know what's going on and I can talk about science and history and I know a lot about a little, or I know a little about a lot, whatever that saying is. But you know what I'm saying? Like these are things that I care about and it ends up showing you your priorities in life. And even doing something like this made me swap out some of my screen time for doing a word search or doing a crossword puzzle or something because I realized, oh, this actually matters to me. So as you do this, write your ideal day and think about your ideal self. What is she doing or what is he doing? And it will start to open your eyes about swaps and things that you can do in your own life right now to get you closer to this ideal day. That part is the fun part. The dream part is so fun because you get to feel motivated and inspired and excited. But scientifically, we can't just stop there because research shows that when you fantasize about your future too much and you fantasize about this dream version of you, your brain doesn't necessarily know the difference between it actually happening and dreaming about it. So you end up getting these false achievement rewards, like you get this premature reward in your brain, even though you haven't actually achieved it. So we can't just stop there. It will feel really good to do this because your brain is releasing dopamine and it's like, oh, yay, we've achieved this and we've rewarded this and you feel this satisfaction. But we have to also figure out the opposite side, which is this part's not as fun, but it's super, super eye-opening. This is what we're going to call your anti-dream life. And these are the things that go against your dream. And this is really effective in motivating you despite it being a more like negative experience because you're going to be writing things that would possibly go wrong. So if you didn't take the risks, if you didn't do the job or didn't do the things that you really want in life, what would your life look like? For me personally, a lot of this comes down to health outcomes that I want to avoid, like chronic illness or lack of fitness or the things that happen when I don't take care of my diet, my exercise, my overall lifestyle. Other things that come up are things career focused. So if I don't take the risk for my career goals, if I don't work towards my career goals, what would my life look like? If I don't do anything for my personal growth, if I don't prioritize and take care of my relationships, what would my life look like? And you can kind of use those categories to assess how yours would be as well. And this is super effective for keeping you focused and motivated on your priorities. And it also gives you this sense of urgency that a vision board doesn't usually give you, right? Because we talked about the dream life thing, and that's insightful in its own way because it shows you your goals and your dreams. But I think a lot of us already do that where we think about, I want to be here, I want to be here. But sometimes what we have to do is get real with ourselves. Like if we don't start working towards this, this is what our life is going to look like. And are you okay with that? I know this whole idea might sound a little cynical because like who wants to think about negative things, but this is actually rooted in a lot of stoicism. So there's this one stoic philosopher named Seneca, and he used to do this all the time where he would prepare for disruption. And even if he was taking a trip or something, he wouldn't just think about what he wanted the outcome to be, like the victory of it. He would also think about all the negative things that would go with it and literally visualize them so that you can make a plan and know like this will suck, but it will be okay. If you're used to doing a vision board and it's never really worked for you, or it's kind of just been something you create and then you never look at it again and it doesn't actually change your motivations, I definitely recommend that you try this anti-dream theory or this anti-dream approach because it will help you see not only an urgency to start working towards your goals, but it also helps you problem solve in the event that, okay, if my dream doesn't work out, here's what can happen. And then now here's what I can do about it to make sure that that doesn't happen. Like I said, I do each of these about once a year, but just kind of randomly when I feel like my goals have shifted or my priorities have shifted, or I feel like I need a boost of motivation and urgency back into my goals. And I'll just write it literally literally on like a Word document on my computer. And I have this folder of all my different little like writing things that I've done. And I just put it in there. And it's so interesting to look back on previous ones that I've done. Some of my priorities have shifted. And then also some of the things that I really wanted, I've already achieved. And it's really cool to see like, so much can happen in a year. So much change can happen in just a short amount of time. After you do each of these exercises, now you'll have a little bit more clarity, and clarity is power because now you can be intentional about what routines you want to do and what specific patterns or habits can help you lead to that dream life. So after you do this, the next practical step is auditing your current habits. So taking a look at your real routine, the things that you're really doing, which probably falls somewhere in the middle of your dream life and your anti-dream life. And we're going to take that real routine and we're going to audit through it. We're going to take away the parts that aren't necessarily great, your triggers, your negative patterns, your bad habits, and then we're going to add in things that get you closer to the dream life that you want to be living. But it's important to be super realistic about what you're actually doing, like day to day, minute by minute. And in my nutrition coaching, there's actually a little worksheet that I've done before with clients where instead of just like saying, oh, here's what I do day to day, it's actually documenting not minute by minute, but pretty much every single minute of your day is accounted for on what you're actually doing. So that includes your scrolling, that includes just sitting on the couch, that includes commuting or picking up takeout or all these random little things that eat up our time. Because a lot of times if I ask you, what do you do on a day to day? You'll tell me you wake up at whatever time, but maybe you won't mention that you snooze, or you'll tell me that you wake up, you go to work, you go grocery shopping, you come home, you make dinner, you go to bed, and it seems like that's your entire day. But when you actually do a full audit of writing down exactly what your real routine is like, you find these little pockets of time that it's like, oh, I actually do have 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, or my commute to work, I can put on a podcast or I can listen to an audiobook. And that's also why I love doing time blocks every day. And I've talked about this a lot before, but it gives me no choice but to plan and put things that I need to do. Like it forces me to create a plan for myself instead of just like, oh, I have this open time and then I end up wasting it scrolling on social media or watching videos or like just not being super intentional with my time. And of course, like you can scroll on social media and watch videos and enjoy yourself and watch movies. But if it's happening just out of default and not because you're like, oh, I actually want to feel inspired or look up some recipes or whatever, that's where I feel like most people don't like their scrolling habits, not because they're not getting useful information sometimes, because obviously social media can be such a tool, but the problem is when we're doing it just out of default or out of habit and we're not even realizing that we spent 7 hours today on social media. So get super clear on what you're actually doing, your real routine, and this is a non-judgmental space, so it's okay. Nobody's going to see this or judge you for it, but really get clear on what you actually do on a day-to-day, and you'll start to see that you have these patterns and these pockets of time that you could be using more efficiently, or you could change up so that your day looks the way that you actually want it to. Now, at first, after you do this, you might be like, wow, I did not realize I spend this much time on social media or this much time just lounging around or wasting my time or whatever. And at first, it might be tempting to see that time and be like, I need to just completely overhaul my entire life. But I want you to just take a step back and take a breath. And at this point, instead of trying to shift everything and completely transform your life to something completely different than what you're already doing, make one small shift at a time. So maybe this week, instead of scrolling on social media, maybe you get a new book and you start reading that book. Or you say, okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes per day reading, right? And naturally, that's going to take you away from your phone because you're going to be thinking about when am I going to do my reading? Or maybe you swap your social media time for a 10-minute walk. Or maybe you still go on social media, but instead of just scrolling, you do social media on the Stairmaster. That's something that I do because you will not catch me doing the Stairmaster just voluntarily, but I'll go on social media when I'm on the Stairmaster and I'll make my little reels or whatever. And it actually keeps you on there so much longer. I'll be on there for 20 minutes and I'm like, wow, I can't believe it's been 20 minutes. So you can pair these habits with something that's more beneficial, that aligns more with your dream self or the person that you really want to be. There is so much power in small swaps, like small steps every single day add up. And that's why part of the winter arc challenge that I'm hosting is the 3 habits that might be related to physical fitness or they might not be, but it's spending 8 weeks actually practicing 3 habits. That's it. 3 habits for 8 weeks. And I did this on purpose and I did this intentionally because a lot of challenges that I see, it's either so many habits that you have to focus on, or there's like a new habit every day or a new habit every week. And while that's fun and exciting because it's something new, you don't actually get really good at those habits until you have to do them for an extended period of time, like 8 weeks. And so my personal challenge, like my personal habits that I'm doing in the challenge are I'm doing my step count, which I want to increase and make sure that even on my off days, even on days where I'm tired after a night out, whatever, I want to hit my step goal. I also want to start being more consistent about taking my supplements, which if you saw in my story, I posted the supplements I've been taking. While I feel a difference, I'm still not back in that routine yet because I took such a long break from taking them. So that's one of my habits. And I also just want to track how often I'm actually taking them. And then my third habit is working on the wellness club every single day. And that for me is a habit that I want to build and build. And maybe for you, you want to work on your side hustle, or you want to work on a career thing or a creative project or making new friends or whatever your goal is, but having clear habits that you actually spend and dedicate time to can really shift your routine over time. Don't discount the small habits. Don't discount the small changes because those add up and they completely shift not only how you feel, how your day goes, but they become solidified in your routine. So something that takes effort now, 8 weeks from now, once you do it consistently, it's not going to take as much effort. You'll be ready to add something new by then. But I wouldn't just look at your routine and say, I have to get rid of this and I have to get rid of that and I have to change this and I have to change that without giving yourself a solid replacement for it. So notice how I didn't just say cut out social media. I said add reading in or add a creative project in, do a word search every day, but give yourself something else to do because obviously you're seeking out social media because you want something to do, or you're seeking out any bad habit because you're looking for something to do. So instead of just expecting yourself to just cold turkey, not do anything, give yourself a replacement and make it a replacement that you're actually excited about. Go to Target and look through all the books and find a book that you actually want to read, or get a puzzle, get a word search, get a coloring book, get the clay, then you can make the little magnets, right? Give yourself something fun that you're actually excited to do because that's the only way that this works. And I've said this so many times on the podcast too, but I'm still such a believer that what's fun gets done. And if it's not fun for you, unfortunately, it's not going to last very long. The routines that stick are the ones that people actually want to do and are fun. And same with wellness, like the people that actually make wellness part of their lifestyle are the people that have fun with it. So if you're trying to just give yourself this rigid routine because you think it sounds good or you think you should be doing that, evaluate your expectations on yourself and see, is this actually something I want or is this something I think I should want? And then the last little part of this is including your community in what you're trying to do. If you're really trying to change your life or change your routines or hold yourself more accountable, yes, you want to be able to hold yourself accountable, but it is so much easier to show up if you have people that are in it with you. So find your friends, go on walks with them, text them, find an accountability partner, share your Apple Watch thing on Apple Watch, like with your friends, right? Join the Winter Arc Challenge. Follow people on social media and message them and get into groups, join a Facebook group, do something to give yourself accountability to show up. Because when you're trying to change your life or change your routine, yes, at first you might be so into it and by yourself, your goals speak for themselves, but long term, it gets lonely. It gets hard. And if you have people that can pick you up when that dips down, that is so powerful. And same for you when you're giving that motivation, when your friend or your partner or whoever, their motivation's dipping down and you get to be the person to pull them back up, that's powerful too. So if you're feeling stuck in your routine or you're feeling like you don't actually like the patterns or the habits that you've fallen into, don't get hard on yourself. Don't get mad at yourself. Just understand that you have the power to reprogram your routines at any point. And it always starts with the small choices, the small changes every single day. It's the little micro adjustments that completely shift your lifestyle. And then your identity matches it too. And then that's when you become unstoppable. When your identity starts to match the routines that you have, now you don't just work out, you're the girl who works out. It's just a part of you at that point. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, I've been off, I've been stuck in a loop, you don't need to wait for the new year or for Monday or for Sunday or for any type of reset. You can start literally right now. Make some choices today that are not just going to make you feel good in the short term, instant moment, but actually make you feel good long term. Make choices that you're proud of. And those choices usually are the harder ones to choose, like going to the gym or making the meal or eating your meal prep or texting your friend or whatever it is. Those things are usually the ones that recharge you and make you actually feel really proud of yourself. And if you're looking for accountability, support, or just a sign that this is the time to start, join us in the Winter Arc Challenge. We're spending 8 weeks resetting, rebuilding, building our best selves, building the foundation, breaking bad habits, building new ones, and also the physical changes will just naturally happen as well. So if you want to join that, click the link on my website, casscamp.co/challenge, and that will sign you up for a little strategy session with me. It's free. We'll just talk about, see if the challenge is right for you and then get you signed up if it is. And then we'll get you started. We're starting November 1st and it's going to be really exciting. The girls that are in it already are absolutely awesome. So I just know it's going to be a great group and it's completely online. So if you live literally anywhere, you can still do it because everything is on an app. So yay. Okay. Well, I hope you guys have a great week and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.